Welcome back again on this platform, BVI Channel 1, where you get undiluted truth. Let me give you a quick update. As some of you have already known, that today, 23rd of October, the Supreme Court will start hearing the appeal filed by both Atiku and Peter Obi. As you all know, that the focus on this appeal, the two main focus is the Tinubu forgery scandal that had been unveiled, and also the interpretation of the 25% of Abuja.
This is the brief of what happened today at the Supreme Court as Atiku's lawyer, Mr. Chris Uche made his own presentation, saying that there are some pending interlocutory application and moves a motion filed 6th of October 2023. He seeks 5 minutes of admiration of the application. They are praying for an order or leave to present fresh evidence on appeal based on the disposition on oath from Chicago State University. He said that the application is predicated on 20 grounds and an affidavit of 20 paragraphs filed on behalf of Atiku. He went on to say, upon the receipt of the counter affidavit from Mr. Tinubu, APC, and INEC, they filed a written address dated 18th of October. He adopts the application and urges the court to grant their request. Chris Uche also said the issue involving Tinubu's certificate is a weighty, grave, and constitutional one, which the Supreme Court, he urged the court to admit the fresh evidence of President Tinubu's academic records from CSU as presented by Atiku. He also said that the Supreme Court has the duty to take a look at Mr. Tinubu's record and reach a decision devoid of technicality. The presiding judge, John Okoro-San, asked Chris Uche whether the Supreme Court should rely on the Electoral Act or the Constitution. In his response, Chris Uche said that the issue about Mr. Tinubu's certificate is a constitutional matter which the court should look into. A member of the panel, Emmanuel Agim, asked Chris Uche to explain the nature of Atiku's fresh documents he seeks to tender before the Supreme Court. Justice Agim asked whether the testimony by CSU registrar was conducted in a court. Justice Agim says from Chris Uche's court filing, the testimony by the CSU registrar held in Atiku's lawyer's law office in the US. Justice Agim also says that the CSU did not issue any letter discrediting Mr. Tinubu's certificate. From my own point of view, it seems that the justices are now defending Atiku from their statement we've had so far. But let us proceed, as he went on to say that we are dealing with a matter that touches on the national unity of Nigeria. The justice also said this. Justice Okoro seeks clarification from Atiku's lawyer, Chris Uche. Justice Okoro asks Mr. Uche on why he wants the Supreme Court to brush aside constitutional provision and entertain the fresh evidence. Chris Uche-san explained that Section 233 of the Constitution gives the Supreme Court the power to entertain questions about whether a person has been properly elected. Chris Uche responds to the issue raised about the CSU proceeding. There is a slight distinction between proceeding in the US and in the UK. In the US, that is how court proceedings are done. Mr. Tinubu was represented by a US lawyer, but did not object to the proceeding held in Atiku's lawyer's office. Chris Uche said that his position are more effective than letters from the CSU authorities regarding the authenticity of Mr. Tinubu's academic record. At around 9:43 a.m., Justice Okoro says criminal matters have to be proven beyond every reasonable doubt, but in this case, there are 2 conflicting letters from the CSU, one authenticating the president's certificate and another one discrediting it. Which one do we rely on? He asked. Mr. Chris Uche refers the court to a letter earlier issued to Michael Anahoro Eba, a lawyer who testified for Atiku's against Mr. Tinubu at the Presidential Election Petition Court in Abuja. INEC lawyer Abubakar Mahmood said that, or asked the court to dismiss Atiku's application seeking to tender Mr. Tinubu's academic record. They are trying everything possible to block the record from being admitted at the Supreme Court. And the judges are acting as the legal representative of Mr. Tinubu in this matter. Very dangerous. We must proceed. Now, Wole Olanipokun San appealed to the Supreme Court to dismiss this very unusual application, seeking to tender fresh evidence against Mr. Tinubu. He said the fresh evidence is not admissible. Olanipekun urges the CSU dispositions are dormant until the deponent comes to court and testify. INEC should have been a party at the disposition proceeding in the US. He said the question of 180 days, a statutory period within which an election petition should be filed and determined, is clear. It is sacrosanct, can be shifted. Therefore, Article can seek to tender fresh evidence at the Supreme Court. At this point, the Supreme Court at 10:14 a.m. begins hearing on substantive appeal in Atiku's case against Mr. Tinubu. Mr. Uche adopts the court filings in the substantive appeal. He urges the court to allow the appeal and set aside the judgment of Presidential Election Petition Court. He says the general constitutional issues are involved in appeal. Therefore, the Supreme Court should critically examine the appeal. At 10:17 a.m., INEC lawyer Mr. Mahmood addressed the court. He praised the court to dismiss the appeal as it lacks merit. Mr. Olanipekun jokingly points out the contradictions in Atiku's prayers, where he prayed the court to disqualify Mr. Tinubu as a candidate in the election, and in another breath called for a rerun to be conducted between him and Mr. Tinubu. Courtroom erupts in laughter. And more of these reports will come to you from this platform.
Now, Nigerians, many have called me asking when is the revolution starting. I can tell you the revolution is already started. I mean, talking about Nigerians standing against impunity and all manner of, corruption, institutional corruption, just as this, our Reverend Bishop acknowledged. Good. We have become a country where all these things have become normal. But Nigerians, you shouldn't accept that normality. In fact, it is time for Nigerians to say no and stand up to it. And it starts from you knowing and also telling others. Because when we all accept it, just like everybody's going about his business as everything is normal, nothing will ever happen. And some people are waiting for somebody to lead them. Who will lead this revolution? People are calling me, when are we starting? Who is leading us? I'm coming from this place. I'm calling from this place. I want to join. No, you don't need to join. You're already part of it as long as you are a Nigerian, whether you live in Nigeria or abroad. The first thing you need to do is the mental revolution. Spread it like wildfire. That Nigerians must say no to this illegitimate government. It doesn't matter what the Supreme Court will come out to give us their judgment or ruling. What matters is the people, because this institutional failure have overlapped so many years, just like the whole Uzodimma case, where we knew the Supreme Court brought him from the 4th position, and today he is the governor running for another tenure. Now, there is a twist, which is also part of the reason Nigerians have lost hope in the Supreme Court. Some have even called it the Supreme Corruption and not court. Well, they have the opportunity to redeem their image, because I already heard some of the judges excusing themselves so that they will not be part of the history that brought Nigeria to its decimal finish line. Anyway, let me inform you that by October this year, the Supreme Court is going to go back to the case of Ihedioha and the Hope Uzodimma. You remember how the man came in? The man from 4th position to the 1st position and now the governor. There is a case that Emeki Hedio have filed, and they are going to, and they are expected to hear the case by the end of this month, October. And it is already around the corner. And I can tell you that there might not be an election in Imo State. Just take it from me. Because from the judgment of the Supreme Court, listen to this, from the judgment of the Supreme Court, talking about Uche Nwosu of AA Party, he had double nomination. And also in that judgment, the Supreme Court affirmed that both AA and APC do not have candidate for that election. Then on another separate case, the same Supreme Court upheld and brought Hope Uzodimma from 4th position as APC candidate to become the governor of Imo State. You can now see why and how you are running a system that is shredded in impunity. And some people were saying, why does it take so long? Almost 3 years, almost 4 years now. Hope Uzodimma have exhausted his tenure. Almost. He's contesting next month for another second tenure. And this case is now coming up. And perhaps the obvious is clear from the judgment of the Supreme Court that Hope Uzodimma did not even contest that election. It shock you? But it is happening in Nigeria. What cannot happen in this country does not exist. So the update you are getting is that nothing will ever happen if the people do not rise up and make it clear to those in authority where they stand. And irrespective of the fact that we are having a system that is corrupt and a constitution that is unworkable, we must insist as a people that the right thing must be done. We must not accept this APC system of impunity, although introduced by PDP, but have been consolidated by APC. That's why I abhor anything APC, honestly. But that is my own personal opinion. Anyway, you have your own opinion. But as far as I'm concerned, Nigerians, it is you that will save yourselves from Nigeria. Because you've always been the victim. Let me wrap it up from here and hope you help me share this video. The most important thing is that keep sharing it. The revolution have already started. The mental revolution for the people to be aware and be conscious of what is happening. And that is why I am here bringing it to you live and direct. Help me share this video to every Nigerian and let them start the revolution by sharing this video and getting them ready. And let the Nigerian authorities know that the people have woken up, so that they will not do anyhow, because they could see anyhow. Bye-bye for now. Drop it on the comment section. I want to have your opinion on this.